Hello. This is only just came to light really because I want to do a video on my favorite card, which is Ariel Treasure Collector, which came out last set, and I don't think I would have called it my favorite in the last set, but it's really shined now with cards like Pete and just basically getting to play it for like two sets and seeing just how good it is. I noticed a lot of people. it- it's came up in a few times when I've been messaging players and like helping them and just trying to practice with them. People just haven't noticed how amazing Ariel can be. To the point where you can get to 10 lore, Ariel and Pete, and as long as you have a dime in your hand and it's not going to go away, you're just going to win the next turn. Items, bear with, but the only deck that ever threatens how many items you have is red blue item Sapphire. I don't even think standard red blue does because what is that? Four Porp Schools, three Ice Blocks, and a Quill. So yeah, I think you're fine with that. I just find her very insanely powerful, and it is to the point where most games now, the only way I'm playing is I'm trying to get the Smeon to start questing. I just want to get to 10 lore, and then I want to play Ariel and I want to play Pete, and then I want to play the Dime the next turn because if you can afford Ariel and Pete, that means you can afford 9 ink, which means the following turn you can afford to play the Lucky Dime and tap it. I think with past editions of Blue Steel and way before, um, even when we were still using Bell, a lot of the time you would use Dime was to play the Dime and then play something and tap it. And it could be a two quester. If you were lucky enough to draw a Bell, you could tap that. If you're lucky enough to draw a Tamatoa, you could tap that. And if you were running Ariel on set 4, you could play that as well. But you'd mainly be wanting to get most of your lore from tapping things like Gaston, Tinkerbell, anything like that, and just basically getting over the finish line. I don't think we need to do that anymore. And with the threat of dimes basically disappearing, it's very hard to, besides into red purple, I think is the only deck you can do it into. Um, any other deck, they will probably have an answer for your dime, so it's very hard to play it out. I mean, maybe not green steel, but still, you're not really doing dime wins on that one. So I just want to be able to win in one turn. And we have got to a point now where it doesn't play with that chip questing and chip dime tap law of play something dime tap and it dies. We can basically just get to 10 law and then get an aerial set up with a Pete. It's going to be very hard for them to remove that. What the requirements is a lot. Um, and then just turn sideways with the aerial and then tap with the dime, we have the dime in hand, and we just basically want to make sure we can keep getting that combo pieces together. And I just noticed a lot of players probably weren't doing that, and I noticed a lot were going down to two aerials. I know some of the really high players up as well, and that's fine. You still can at some point just throw a giant Hamatara on the board and just turn sideways with that, use the dime. But I'm just really thinking that the way that aerial works with the dime, once you get to 10 law, is just such a good closer. Like I say, you don't have to do the whole 20 lore anymore. You can just get to 10. And I'm just going to keep overstating how much I love this card because I think it's just amazing. I think exactly how Blue Steel should be playing now. To the point where we did have before, it was just a hyper ramp to dime sort of, and then play the dime and play bells in pass sets. And then we got a bit more control based. Blue Steel, even right now we still have the fire, the cannons and stuff like that in there, but we were using things like Zeus, and we were more about controlling the board. I think we just completely the way it should be played is just hyper ramp, get your 10 locked in somehow. Hopefully with Smee and any other questers that you can get on the board, and then just get to that 10 wheel, find the aerial and the aerial and Pete, and then hopefully have the dime as well. Find that and just, yeah, just win from that on one turn. I think that is the best play to play Blue Steel, and it's probably my favorite player. That's why that card is my favorite card. And now the way I build my list, and it's why you see Rise of Titans in mine, but not in others. I just build it around trying to stop my opponent from winning, whilst I work towards that win con. So the Fire of the Cannons is there to stop Green Steel from doing its Green Steely stuff, and then Amber Steel from doing its shift lines. It's more answers for Flynn. Rise of Titans is basically because I play a lot of RP. I think they would go out if I weren't seeing as much RP, and I'd use that space for other things. And the Let It Go is just basically spot removal, so I can just be like, and that goes in the inkwell. Don't really care you have too much ink if I'm aiming to do this aerial Pete line, and then just keep going towards my win con. So yeah, I'm just really want to state the best line I think to play for Blue Steel right now, and why this card is my favorite is just get to 10 lore, get Ariel down, get Pete down, and play the dime. And it can be questioned that why I don't have four aerials. It's always felt clunky, and four Petes. I think you could have four Petes definitely for sure. But yeah, that line is basically broken. It's not broken. It's just a very good line to play, and it means we can just close out games in one turn. And to be honest with you, I find a lot of players that don't see the line just don't expect it, and they still think they have a few more turns as well. They might see you're at 10 with an area on board, but they're going, well, they're not calculating the dime. I think that's also just really wrong. They're not calculating the dime, but yeah, they're just not seeing the game close out. So definitely, I think if you haven't got that many aerials in your list, just really try her out and really focus in on the line that I'm mentioning there of getting to 10 law and then turning sideways with her with a dime. Because it just closes it out and you don't need to be messing around with anything else in the deck. You just need to make sure your opponent hasn't won by that point and you're able to set it up with the cards in your hand. So yeah, that is just basically a love message to the card Ariel Treasure Collector that I really wanted to put out there because I hadn't put a video out for a couple of days as well. So thank you.